daughter's 10.
Okay.
My son is 6, and my youngest is a year and a half.
Okay.
And I feel like she participated the most in helping us this week.
Your youngest?
Yeah. Well, because we had rocks, so we're moving these. Like, we built this garden, and it has a fence around it to keep the deer and rabbits out. And then we built inside of it.
Audio for you. I turned my mic off. No wonder you can't hear me.
Before we get started, I just wanted to
Alright, let's see here.
Before we get started, I just wanted to talk to you listeners, viewers, just for a second. Within the last year,
I need Mr. Harris Hiller. There it is. Let's add some music. How the turntables turn. Or how the turntables. So let's add this skadoosh. And I think I also liked Walk Through Underland. I think this was another one that I liked as well, Hop Blonde Girl. So let's add this in here too. Alright. So let's try this.
Family and I, between moving and starting a new job.
Let's pause you. Pause.
Alright, let's get started. What kind of parent are you when it comes to doing DIY stuff, do it yourself? Are you someone that solely does it by yourself? Do you...
Alright, hold on. So I messed something up here. So undo. 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 Boom. Yeah, I really messed that up.
Just running into stuff, running all over, running away from us. Well, and even public, like we were at the park yesterday,
Yeah.
and we were sitting there eating pizza, and she stood up and just ran off.
Right.
Just away from us. But I guess.
Okay, so that's all good. So this all needs to be shifted to over here to see what's up. But we need to do just maybe like a few seconds. So let's do like here. Let's do our fade. Let's do a longer fade. So why? There we go. No, stop. That's what I need right there. Boom. Or is it more?
He was.
Well, let's just keep going up here. Boom. This guy. Music.
But
I feel like I'm like overloading this computer so much. Fade. Ah. Fade.
I just wanted to address it before the episode, just to give you all kind of an update of what's been going on. So, all right, let's get started. What kind of parent are you when it comes to doing DIY stuff, do it yourself? Are you someone that solely does it by yourself? Do you go to YouTube and consult YouTube with how to do certain projects? Do you hire your kids to help out with odds and ends of the job, or are you the kind of person that stresses out if anybody else around you while you are working on that job in particular? My guest and I this week had no plans of discussing this at all. This was not the topic of the video, but that's exactly where it went.
One of these days I will upgrade my computer to something a little nicer.
Talk about DIY, we talk about
I think it'll run a little smoother and not have to worry about such delay as far as the video goes and audio goes.
Well, it's funny because when we talked before the episode, we discussed possible topics, and one of them was streaming in video games. And I think that's the same topic that we were going to discuss last time, but totally didn't cover that at all. So you can see, you know, it's just kind of conversations that we have. It's very easy flow, very he's a very easy individual to
do. Fade out.
talk to, and I greatly appreciate that about him, because we can pick a topic, doesn't matter, and just discuss it, and that's great. So without further ado, here is Roger Reichert of the Gamerheads podcast.
So my plan today was to like just stream and hang out around the house, but I ended up tearing carpet up in my bedroom.
What? That always happens.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I woke up, had coffee.
I need to
made
listen to
some
this main
breakfast.
stuff. There's not a whole lot that I think I need edited out of it, but I'd like to have the whole episode constructed and put together. That way, once everything is in place, which is about 30 to 40 minutes, I believe our discussion was, roughly. Yeah, there it is. Stream beats, man. Such a great thing Harris Heller did as far as being able to put royalty-free music on it. The beats that he's make, they are incredible. Great for background music, great for actually just chilling music. A lot of like lo-fi and just nice beats that sound great.
Myself back in the motion of a regular life and recording, and so yeah.
That'd be fun. I'd be down for that. So,
Myself back in the motion of a regular life and recording. I'm trying to get myself back in the motion of a regular life and recording, and so yeah.
that'd be fun. I'd be down for that. So.
Roger, thank you so much for joining me this week. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. Again, I greatly appreciate our conversations, how unpredictable they
this is
can be
great.
and how raw they are. I truly, truly appreciate you taking.
So what I will do is normally towards the end of the episode, I will keep it. Let's see, it's 40, so I will just let it roll for a minute. And let it fade out. That way it just kind of has a little, like, just a natural, just kind of nothing abrupt. Ugh. Just let it play here for a second.
I can say, without further ado, this week's quest has officially been completed.
Alright, so that's done for the most part. There's not a whole lot that I think I need. Although I did mention during the episode that it needed to be heavily edited. But I don't think it really did. Just, I think that's that part.
It's one thing knowing that you.
Okay, so that's where you asked me. Let's go back to 27 mark.
Would you rather have someone else watch your kids?
Yeah.
Or would you rather watch your kids yourselves and help them grow to be the people they are? And I don't know, we live in a time where it's very scary to have your kids around other people. And even if they are trusted people that are, you know, part of a daycare, teacher or whatnot, we live in a time where there's a lot of corruption and a lot of bad things that go on.
Yeah.
So I know I'd rather have Jen, and I know Jen would rather be the one to watch the kids than have someone else watch them.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Wow. Is this still part of the episode? Is this the episode?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't think what we talked about, what we're going to be talking about today, this is not what we decided to talk about, but this is
No.
what we talk about for sure.
No. Yeah, I went from let's talk about streaming and this, which is what we discussed last time,
Yeah, yeah,
to home birth again.
yeah, I know.
Childcare and COVID and everything. So. But yeah, maybe we'll just end it on that then because it's been 30 minutes. And...
Oh, wow. That was really fast.
Yeah.
That was really fast.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I hope that you don't mind me saying this, but, you know, I
appreciate this a lot.
You know, I'm sorry that your father passed away. And that was, you know, not that long ago. And, you know, I guess
Sometimes I feel like it's
the one thing that just reminds us all
difficult
that,
for people
life is
to
very short.
dive into the subject, especially with me right now. But I definitely appreciate Roger going into this.
Cherish each other, and you know, we should. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is there any lesson that you learned? I mean, lessons, probably more than one, right? That you learned from your dad that you're like, I'm going to make sure that I pass on to my kids.
It's a good question. One, thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't know whether or not if I should talk about that at all. I was debating on doing just an episode on that by itself, but
Alright, be right back. I gotta go help my oldest brush her teeth and get ready for bed. this. All right. Let's back to this here. Commercials.
Lessons that my dad taught me. There's a lot of lessons that I've learned from this whole situation. Dad was sick for he had surgery 6 years ago. He was sick, I want to say about 10 years before that, with diabetes, and it's one thing knowing that your parent is sick, but knowing that they are hanging on for dear life, like he was for the last 6 years. I don't know. It got to a point where I woke up every day thinking, like, is he gonna die today? Is this gonna be the day? And eventually it becomes normal. It's a normal feeling, you know. It starts to get a little. I got a little numb to it, but when it happened, it still was very shocking. Like, I'm still in disbelief right now. The hardest thing is having dreams with him in it, and then waking up and being like, well, did that really happen? And oh, you're all right. Sorry, it's just a deep thought. Sorry, Jen.
All right, so there is this. Boom. And boom. This needs moved.
Having dreams with him in it, and then waking up and being like, well, did that really happen? And down. Lessons my dad taught. This is gonna be heavily edited. Dad always took advantage of.
Boom. Alright, so that and that can all be selected for here. Boom. Drag. Drag. And drag.
Knowing that your parent is sick, but knowing that they are hanging on for dear life, like he was for the last 6 years. I don't know. But it got to a point where I woke up every day thinking, like,
Your
is he gonna
experience
die today? Is
matters.
this gonna be the day?
At
And
University of Phoenix,
eventually-
relevant life experience and
it becomes normal. It's a normal feeling, you know. It starts to get a little. I got a little numb to it, but when it happened, it still was very shocking. Like, I'm still in disbelief right now. The hardest thing is having dreams with him in it, and then waking up and being like, well, did that really happen? And Dad always took advantage of his time with us. So, he taught me how to have fun. He taught me how to
Support edits.
not always be serious about everything. Take advantage of the time that you have with your family. That was his biggest thing. Was he loved spending time with us and with our kids. He loved his grandkids. And even though we were at the beach a month before he passed away, and you wouldn't be able to tell. I mean, he always pushed himself. He was a hard worker, never stopped. He took advantage. Even though he was sick, he was still on the beach with the kids, playing with them on the sand, building sand castles, just making full of his life. Even though it could have been his last day, he was still taking advantage of every moment to live that moment through. And I appreciate that about him because I have a lot of good memories of him. And I think I would want the same for my kids if I were in his situation. Even though I'm sick and I don't feel good, I would want to be as active as I could and be as involved in their lives as I could so they could have those memories. And that I'm glad that my girls, or at least Bo, because Rue's only a year, so I don't know, she might, retain something, but with Bo, her last memories of him is playing on the beach with him. Yeah. I value that a lot with her. So.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been rough. I've been feeling a lot of feelings. I told Jen I've been feeling really angry lately, and sad and depressed. And some days I don't feel anything at all, and other days I feel happy. And I don't know. It's a whirlwind. It's definitely an experience that is not natural.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel natural, at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you ever needed anybody to talk to, I'm always here.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Yeah. So. Probably gonna leave this in the episode.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're
We
good.
don't
There's
mind the ass.
I talked to the guy that did the funeral talk for Dad and had a discussion, and my most favorite thing to do would be just to sit with him on the porch and usually have a beer and just sit and talk. We would sit and talk till midnight, 1 a.m. just to talk about life. And I think that's the thing that I'm gonna miss the most is being who do I go to for life's advice now.
Yeah.
It hurts.
It's interesting about the dream thing because I feel like that's a very common thing that you dream about the people that are, no longer with us, right? So, yeah.
It's good. It's it hurts, but it's nice because I don't know. Even though I can't make out things that they say, or I don't know, but you wake up and you think, oh, that felt good. I could see his face. I think I could hear his voice. I don't know, and it's just I don't know. It's like it's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll make me cry, Roger.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're all right.
I just, I haven't really talked to you since then, and I just, my first thought was like, man, like, that's tough. That's just so hard to go through.
Yeah.
And your father wasn't that old.
No,
right?
he's 58.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a major reality check for like, I better keep my heart health like good because it runs in his family. His mom died at 62.
Really?
Passed away at 58. So yeah. I told Janet that I need to probably drink more water.
Yeah.
And maybe eat some more greens.
Yeah. Well, maybe you inherited more of your mother's genes than
I
your
think so,
father's
because once he had his surgery done,
Yeah.
We took this. It's like a calcium score test, and you go into like this giant thing that looks like a cat. Well, you're getting a CAT scan almost, but it rates the amount of calcium that's in your body, and
Okay.
the more calcium you have, the higher your score is, the higher chance that you have.
I think Roger thinks that I am. There's a ton of
Yeah.
editing going into this episode, but there's hardly any editing going into it. It's your normal edits.
That I got that done.
It's just difficult to
How old are you now?
find the time, especially when you've got family as well. Makes it
Yeah.
makes it a little more difficult.
the other day, and it sounds very morbid. I'm like, you know, I probably have like 30 years left. Like,
Yeah.
It's a scary, sad thing to think about. But I will say, put in perspective of like what I want out of the rest of my life, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want, like, I talked about this with my boss. I'm like, I don't want my job to dictate how I spend my time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want enrichment. I don't want to move up a corporate ladder. And, and she's like, no, that makes sense, and that's okay. Like, that's okay to have. Like, I feel like in our corporate, in the way that corporate is set up, it's like if you're not moving up in the corporate ladder, then like I don't know. It's almost like, why aren't you moving up? Like, but that's
Not how it should be.
that's
I mean,
not how it should be, yeah.
some people like that. I've worked with surgeons that worked, you know, like 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. every night, but they have a family. And I've worked with other people that are similar. That it's almost like an addiction to what they do, or they have family problems going on at home. that they
Yeah.
don't deal with. But I think the reality is, there's got to be a balance. Some people want balance, like you. Sounds like you want balance between work life and family life.
Yeah.
I want the same thing. I don't look, it'd be nice to make millions of dollars every year. But is that the important thing?
Yeah.
No, because I'll be away from the family, and the family is my unit. And I would feel like it would be a neglection to my kids and a neglection to my wife if I were to prioritize secular work ahead of them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody at the end of their life said, "Boy, I wish I worked more."
Mm.
Yeah, and like looking with that situation, it's like, no, you wish that you spent more time with that individual, because life's work doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Life stops.
Yeah.
And so, with that, I am grateful that I took advantage and made it a priority to spend as much time as I could with him. And I don't regret it. And I don't regret, going home from work early. I don't regret staying up late at night to spend time with him. I don't regret any of that at all. I would have regretted more if I would have prioritized other things ahead of family.
Well, I know I said this before, and I'll say it again, but like, your father did a great job raising you.
Thanks.
So, yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate that. That
Yeah.
means a lot.
Okay. I don't. We're way past that point.
You're all right, man. You're all right. No, I appreciate you asking that. That means a lot, and I don't want to be the person that shells stuff. One last thing, my dad was not very good, but an individual that kept stuff to himself and kept his emotions in, and that's one thing that I learned not to do from him. So I appreciate you talking about that. I've been doing my best to communicate with Jen and just kind of let stuff come out instead of bottling it up. So it means a lot that you asked that. I appreciate that.
And I truly mean that if you need somebody to talk to, and obviously, Jen is probably the best person, right? It's like
Hold on, Jen. Talking to Roger.
Talking to Roger right now. But I do really mean that. Like, if you need somebody to talk to, just hey, I just need somebody that's impartial and just can listen to me just vent about something.
I think that's it, man. I think.
Yeah.
I'm here, man. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. So
Thanks. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Any plugs?
Any plugs? So we talked a lot about parenting. I do a podcast on video games.
Okay.
Shockingly enough, I do have time to play video games sometimes. So you can check us out at gamerheadspodcast.com. That's our website. You can follow us on Twitter at GamerHeadsPC. And yeah, you can listen to our podcast on our website, which it gets posted there. We have a weekly podcast that comes out every Sunday. So yeah, that's that.
Cool, man. Yeah, Gamerheads. I've been listening to Gamerheads for years now, and appreciate the work that you do. And
Thanks.
even the changes that it's gone through, it's still a great show. Great.
Oh, thanks. It's gone through a lot of changes.
when I first listened to it, it was you, Matt, and
Jake.
So I said
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah. That's. I was just thinking about that the other day.
There's an episode of Gamerheads that is never released that
And then
has
for a
Carrington,
while, I wasn't
myself,
even the host.
I think maybe
So,
Cody,
there's that.
Jake,
So I'm back as
and
the host.
Roger, and I wish that he would release
Good,
it.
man. Well, again, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come on here and chat, and I'm sure I'll have you back on again in the future. Before everything went crazy with Dad, before everything went crazy with baby number 2, I had plans to do not Gamerheads. Not what am I talking about?
Plans to take over Gamerheads, and I would have been like, "Cool, you want?"
Plans of doing parent fails, and so I want to have you.
Yeah.
And I know I talked to Sean Beeson, Andrew Reiner, and I think Brandon Phoenix, and they were all in agreement to come on and just do kind of a roundtable.
Yeah.
Just bad moments in parenting.
Oh, I got lots. So
Yeah.
I'd love to share
It'd
that.
almost be like a roast, but not really. Like, I guess a roast of yourself. Like,
Yeah.
what happened, or like just bad situations with kids. So,
You know, none of my kids got severely hurt from any of.
don't say it. If I get a text from you saying that you're at the ER later tonight.
So far, so good.
Yeah. So that'll be in the works.
Fun.
I'm trying to get myself back in the motion of a regular life and recording, and so yeah.
That'd be fun. I'm
This is a good
be
episode.
down for that.
Yeah, I appreciate everything Roger did. Coming on, taking time.
Roger, thank you so much
right.
for joining me this week. It's
So I
always
believe
a
this is
pleasure
done.
chatting with you.
And I'm going to go to the. Did this the other day? Where's the export button? It's the parameter somewhere. Export. Boom. Contents. Boom. We are going to do YouTube 1080. 25 frames per second. And before I click start exporting down here, I'm going to sign out. So thank you all for watching, and I plan on doing this more often as far as live streaming edits, and I want to live stream interviews and discussions with people. So yeah, this is definitely really neat, and I again appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Plan on also streaming some video games and gameplays, which I think will be a lot of fun. So hope you all have a great evening, and have a rad